Hello, everybody. This is AK. I'm back. So, I look at the stock prices today and I felt the urge to make a video. And actually, earlier in the day, I also published a blog post on this same topic. So, just an audio version of that blog post, right, if you will. So DBS, OCBC and UOB, all their stock prices have been rocketing higher, going through the roof. Yeah. So how do I feel? How do you feel? Well, if you are invested in DBS, OCBC, and UOB, I think you'll be very happy, and you want to shout "What ah!" And then if you have been avoiding the stocks of DBS, OCBC, and UOB for whatever reason, if you think that they are dinosaur stocks and they are going the way of the dodo, then maybe you might be sheepishly hiding somewhere. But no need to hide, I mean, all of us have our own investment theses about businesses and all that. Some people just think that DBS, OCBC, and UOB won't do well and they are going to go extinct, But won't say who lah. Anyway, how do I feel? Well, I have mixed feelings about their stock prices going much higher, right, hitting new highs. Because I would like to add to my investments in all three banks. I don't think they're going the way of the dodos. I don't think they're dinosaurs. I think our banks, DBS, OCBC, and UOB, they are quite progressive, right? And then they went digital many years ago, even before we had purely digital banks invading the space in Singapore, right? So, what am I doing as their prices hit new highs? Well, I'm just waiting. I'm simply doing nothing and collecting dividends, right? And I don't feel like adding to my investments in the banks as their stock prices hit new highs, right? So I'm simply doing nothing, collecting dividends, filling up my war chest, and just taking things easy, right? I'm already substantially invested. There's no reason for me to rush and chase rising prices. Uncle Warren Buffett has said this before, and how we should avoid doing this, and that's buying a stock merely because you think it's going to increase in price is something we should avoid doing. Intelligent investors will avoid doing that. That's what he said before. And in the meantime, the money in my war chest, I'll be buying more 6 months T-bills. Right, I expect T-bills cut-off yields to hover around 3.8%, maybe a bit lower, a bit higher, who knows. And I think at this kind of level is a pretty decent return, right, for something that is risk-free and volatility-free. I simply do not see any need to take on price risk, especially when stock prices are going higher. Okay, and as for my current investment in DBS, OCBC, and UOB, I mean, there are people who say maybe you should sell some and lock in the capital gains. And that makes sense, it's sensible if you are a trader, right? If you are a trader. Of course, you want to buy low, sell high, and then you keep doing it, And if you are good at it, if you're a good trader, you end up making quite a bit of money, right? But because I'm a lazy investor and I've not done any trading in a long time, I used to trade more actively in my younger days, and I did share before in my blog that I made about $500,000 as a trader in my younger days. I mean, net gain, I mean, I lost some, made some, but overall I made about $500,000 trading the stock market. But like I said before, it's quite stressful. It's a bit more work, jumping in and out of your positions, and I really feel very lazy. I don't feel like doing that anymore, and there's really no need for me to do that kind of thing to make more money. So for my current investment in DBS, OCBC, and UOB now, again, to borrow from Warren Buffett, my favorite holding period is forever, right? It's forever. So Warren Buffett also say, said before that time is the friend of the wonderful company and is the enemy of the mediocre company, right? And I think DBS, OCBC, and UOB, they're all wonderful companies, wonderful banks, right? And he also said before that only buy something you would be perfectly happy to hold if the stock market shuts down for 10 years, right? So I don't see any reason why I would want to sell my investments in this in the three banks. And so if the stock market shuts down for 10 years, I'm happy to hold, I'm not looking to sell, so I don't care if the stock market shuts down for 10 years. I'm just collecting dividends year after year, right? And this perhaps explains why I sold some of my investments in some businesses in the past, because those were businesses that I was uncomfortable with the idea that if the stock market shuts down, that I wouldn't have an exit strategy for 10 years, that kind of, and why I increased my investment heavily in DBS, OCBC, and UOB in recent years instead, right? So it's a pretty simple strategy, and I blogged about this many years ago, I think way back in 2012, when my blog was still quite new. And I'll leave a link in the description box below in case you're interested to read some of my blog posts in the archives. Right? So if AK can talk to himself, so can you. Bye-bye.